Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is another reading vlog, another series reading vlog, which is what I've been doing this month. So we will quickly go through the 5 books I will be reading in this vlog. And as always, let me know if you've read any of them, what your thoughts are, if you agree or disagree with my comments throughout the vlog on it. Just let me know. I'm very excited to be getting through some series this month, and we're going to be finishing 2 in this vlog, so I'm very excited for that. This is also like a very heavy Kindle Unlimited vlog. All of these books are on KU, or I have in like all my Kindle, so much easier to get through them when I can just continuously read the same book and I'm not going back and forth between a physical and then a Kindle book for the gym. I can just like fly through them. So we'll see if this vlog goes a little bit faster than my previous ones. But the first one I'm going to be reading is Love at First Fright by Nadia El-Fassi. This is a book, it's like a paranormal romance. We have an author who can see ghosts, and she writes this book that's being turned into a movie, and she meets the actor that is cast as the male and thinks he is completely miscast. He is wrong for it. And then our main male character is the actor who is trying to get out of like action movies and stuff, and he's cast in this and he's like determined to do a good job, but then he's obviously arguing with our author because she doesn't think they cast right for it, and there's sparks and everything that go between them. And I think it's like a haunted house kind of esque vibe too. Perfect for spooky season. The book comes out this month. I'll put the date on the screen and the cover on the screen. I do have the arc of it, and I did read Best Text Ever by her. I got that in my Illumicrate box last year, and it was really cute, fun, witchy romance. Do recommend that as well for the fall, but I don't think this is connected to my knowledge. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to go back and remember if she had an author friend. She might have, but I'll go back and see if it is. If not, it was a good time. It was a fun, spooky, atmospheric, like perfect autumnal read. So I'm hoping that that's what this book is. I think after that I will go into Restless Stars by the Twisted Sisters. So that is Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. This is the 9th and final book in the Zodiac Academy, and I am so excited to finally be done with this series. I've been putting off finishing it for way too many months because the book is like 1,200 pages long. I do not physically own it yet. I have it pre-ordered. I think it got pushed out to come to next year, but I've been ordering the books as they've been re-released in the traditionally published covers. I have them back somewhere up there. You can't really see it. They're like up here. But I'm up through 7 right now. I think 8's coming like tomorrow or something, but I'm still waiting on the rest of them, and I've been enjoying the series. It is reality TV if it was a fantasy world, and I love it. I do hate our like evil person, and I think that's what's made it harder to get through, just because I find similarities of that person and someone else in real life that I can't stand. So it's been difficult to get through that because some of the things are very similar. But I'm excited to finish this up and see how everybody's stories conclude. There are other spin-off series from the Zodiac Academy. Will I read them? Possibly, but probably not until I get through some of these other series that I'm reading, and I kind of want to let a few more books come out in the newest one just to kind of see what people think about it. I haven't seen too many talk about it yet, and I want to get a better vibe on like what people think on it before I spend the money to get those new books. Another series I will be finishing up is the Lakefront Billionaire series by Lauren Asher with Love Arranged. This follows Lorenzo and Lily, and I believe it's like fake dating, maybe a fake engagement. I'm not 100% sure, but they're doing each other favors, obviously, by pretending to be in a relationship with each other. And I've loved these characters. Like, Lorenzo is such a douche, and I'm so excited for him to be the main character because he's like one that I know I'm gonna love, even though I like hated him in the previous books. I just have a feeling I'm really gonna love him in this one. Lily, we don't get too much in the first 2 books. Like, she's there, but I feel like we're really gonna get a lot more of her. Obviously, in this book, it's her book. But yeah, he's kind of like the guy everybody wants to hate, and I'm very excited for that. Then I have the 3rd book in the Lancaster Prep series, Promises We Meant to Keep by Monica Murphy. And this follows Spencer, and I had to look it up because I couldn't remember. I don't think it said Sylvie. Okay, according to this, it's Sylvie. And this looks like a second chance because this is like later on, and she betrayed him when they were like together in secret when they were at Lancaster Prep, and she betrayed him. They broke up, and now they're kind of like rekindling something. We'll see. Second chance romance, very short, only like 350 pages, and these ones read pretty fast. And again, I read like the wind on my Kindle. I then have the 4th book in the Brood of Birthright series, and this follows Dante and Simone. We're finally getting Dante's book, and I think this is also kind of a second chance. He like accidentally kidnaps her previously, and they go their separate ways, and then I think like they eventually like meet again, and he's going to try to like woo her. Not 100% sure. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, these are again very quick reads, semi-dark romance, basically just mafia vibes. They're a nice, like, I hate using the word palate cleanser, but I don't read a lot of books like this, so it is kind of nice to read one every once in a while. But these are both on the darker side of the romance. Obviously not like super, super dark, but they go into the gray area in the middle of like cutesy romance and darker romance. And I'm usually more on the side of like cute, funny romance, even when it is darker. Like I like the Ruinous Love trilogy and the Into Darkness trilogy, which are both kind of like dark rom-coms, but we'll see how I feel about this one. I've been waiting for Dante's book for a while, so we'll see how that goes, but I do enjoy a good spicy dark romance every once in a while. So these books also have some NSFW artwork in them, and I just flipped to quite an interesting page. So that is where we are with this vlog. I'm going to be starting with Love at First Fright, and when I finish up with that, which is actually not part of a series, but it's an arc I have to read, so I threw it into this. And then I will update on that, and we'll move on to book 2. Okay, so I just finished up Love at First Fright and by Nadia Alfasi. It is kind of in a series, but I'm really just reading it because it's an arc, but it's like an interconnected standalone to, what was the book? Best Hex Ever. So you follow the one friend in that, and then this is her, one of her best friends. There's 3 friends that are in the books. So I really enjoyed this. It was like the perfect entry into like spooky season because she can like see ghosts, and it takes place while they're filming at like a haunted house. So it wasn't like super spooky, super Halloween-y, but it was definitely like a very fall feeling book, a very fall feeling romance. There was a lot of like rain, and just the vibes were right for this time of the year. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it 3.75 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I mean, romances are hard for me to like rate really, really high, but I did really like this. I think it is, I would definitely recommend it for this time of the year. It just came out on the, what is today? So the 16th. I'm a few days late on this one, but it did just come out on the 16th of September. So perfect timing for this like spooky season, and definitely think you should pick it up if you want like a fun, cute, it is spicy. It is spicy. But we're following an author and an actor, and this author's book is being turned into a movie, and this actor is the star of the movie. And at first she doesn't think he's right for the part. He doesn't look right for the part, but it quickly turns into like an immediate attraction, and there's a lot of else stuff going on. But yeah, it's really cute. It is spicy though. So I don't remember the first one being as spicy as this one is, but that doesn't bother you. Perfect romance for this time of year. I'm now going to be starting Restless Stars by Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti, which is the final book in the Zodiac Academy series. It is book 9, and I'm scared. It's also very long. I'm reading it on my Kindle, but it's very long. I don't know how long it's going to take me, so it could be a while before I do an update. I can't talk too much about it. It's the conclusion of the series, which is about 2 twin girls that discover that they're from the Fae realm, and they're like the heirs to the throne of the Fae realm. And then there's these 3 male heirs that have been being taught to rule in their stead. Their parents are ruling now, but they're supposed to be taking over because these girls were thought to be dead, and then they come back and there's a fight for the throne. It is a fantasy novel, so there's obviously like a big bad that is trying to take over and everything, and they're fighting against that. That's the gist. There's shifters, there's all sorts of different like mythical beings. It is like reality trash TV when you're reading it, and I love everything about it. There's a lot of romance, a lot of spice, and I'm excited to wrap this up. This is a very long series, so it's taken me pretty much, I don't know when I started it. I want to say I started it last year, but I could be wrong. It's taken me a while to get through it. It has to have been last year that I started it. So glad to be completing this, but I have been kind of putting it off because I am sad that it's over, and I don't know what's going to happen in this one, but yeah. I'm going to get started on that one, and I'll update. I don't know that I'll update until it's done. It's really hard to update with books that are like in the middle of a series or the end of a series because I can't really talk too much about them, but I'll definitely let you know when I'm done and what my overall thoughts were. Okay, it's been a few days, and I haven't updated because I've been reading Restless Stars pretty much exclusively for like the past 2.5 days, and I'm about 60% of the way through. Granted, this book is like 1,100 pages long, So it's been a bit, okay? And I've been a little busy the past few days, so I haven't had as much time to read as I want. And I've been reading 2 books at one time, and I haven't been doing that for these last 2.5 days. So it's only been that book, and I think my brain just needs a break from it. So I'm gonna pick up Bloody Heart a little bit and see if like this helps kind of just get me through the rest of the day. I am enjoying Restless Stars. It's getting a little repetitive. Like, I don't know how many times you can like almost defeat the same person, but we've been doing it for 9 books now. So I'm also like, there's a lot of like politics and stuff in here that's just like difficult to read in general, just because of how the person acts and says and stuff like that. So it's just a hard book to get through, but I am enjoying it. And I'm looking forward to seeing how she ends the series, but I feel like there's going to be some pain in the last 40%. So I am 60% of the way through. I'm hoping to maybe read another 10% or so today, and then some of this, because I'm very tired. We're just at the zoo all morning, so I've been out in the sun. So I'm just going to go like lay down, read a bit. We'll see between this and Restless Stars what I read. But again, this is about Simone and Dante, and I believe that they've like knew each other because of like an unintended kidnapping, and like 9 years later, something's bringing them back together, and they're gonna maybe get a shot at love. So we'll see. I will update when I finish one of these books. Update time. I finished Restless Stars, which means I finished the Zodiac Academy finally. And I loved this book, 5 stars, definitely, because I think it was a wonderful ending. I think it wrapped everything up. There were like multiple different storylines to wrap up, and I think that they wrapped them up, and they also led into, I believe, another series that comes after it very well. But I do think it got a little repetitive with some of the war stuff and some of the battles and everything towards the end. I was at this point, I'm like, all right, wrap it up, because I felt like they were trying to drag it out a little more than it needed to be. It did not need to be 1,100 pages long, I don't think, but I still really enjoyed it. I really liked how everything got wrapped up, and everything felt like it got explained. So 5-star read. So happy to be done with that series. That is like the longest series I think I've ever read. So it's off the list. And then I also finished up Bloody Heart today, which is the 4th book. Yes, the 4th book in the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark. This was my favorite one so far. This was 3.75 stars. It is a second chance romance. We see Dante and Simone meet at the beginning, kind of like he accidentally kidnaps her. Not kind of, like he accidentally kidnaps her. And then there's like an immediate attraction, like they're obsessed with each other. This is when they're a little bit younger, like she's like just 18, and then her family doesn't want them to be together, so they're kind of torn apart. They don't see each other for I think like 9 years it is, the jump, and then they're brought back together, and they want to like try to rekindle everything. There's a lot more detail, there's a lot that I'm not saying, but that's the general gist of the story. It's a second chance romance, and you see their first chance at the beginning. So really loved this one. Definitely my favorite so far out of the series. This series has been kind of hot and cold for me. It's been like 3.5 stars, but this one was almost a 4-star. It was just a little crazy on the spice for me. I felt like I went a little over the top on that, but the storyline was definitely my favorite out of all 4 of them so far, and I think the next one might be my favorite. I don't know. I don't even know what the next one is. The card's right in front of me. Broken Bow, because they introduced that character at the end of this book, the main character at the end of this book, and I kind of am very excited for that. So that's done. Restless Stars is done. So I still have 2 more books left in the Brutal Birthright series, but I'm now going to be reading Love Arranged by Lauren Asher, which is the final book in her Lakefront Billionaire series, and this follows Lorenzo and Lily, and it is like fake dating. Dating to benefit each other's like personal goals, and not personal goals, but like career goals and stuff like that. So Lorenzo's kind of been the enemy, the bad guy in the first 2 books. Like he's been an adversary of the MMCs in the first 2 books, and Lily is the sister or the cousin of the I think she's the sister of one and the cousin of the other MMC. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I'm very excited for this one. Is it like a 500-some page long book? Yes, but it's also like there's not a lot of words on the page, so I don't think it's going to take me too long. I can read it on my Kindle. Very excited. I love a Lauren Asher book. She writes great romance. I've only read this series, and I've read the Dreamland Billionaire series. I have not read The Dirty Air. I do have the first book in that, but I wanted to finish the series first. I've enjoyed all of the books. The first one in this series was my favorite, and I can't wait to see what I feel about this one. So I will read, may do an update. We'll just see, I guess, depending on how long it takes me to get through it. If there's too many days in between, I will update, but I'm trying to get through these final books on my TBR for the month. This book, and then the final book in this vlog. These are the last two on my TBR for the month, and I have a week left in the month, so I do think I'll get through these pretty easily, but there are a few other books I want to read in another vlog, so gonna try to get through this relatively quickly. I should be able to. It's a romance, but I will update when I have some information to share. Okay, I finished another book. Just wrapped up Love Arranged. This may be my favorite out of all three of them. I think I'm gonna give this one 4.5 stars, because I think that's what I gave the first book, and I love this just as much as Love Redesigned, if not more. I just realized they're almost the same color. I guess this was supposed to be more blue because the first book is purple, but they're both basically purple. But anyway, we are following Lorenzo and Lily as they do have like a fake engagement, fake relationship to benefit more of their like professional lives than anything, but there is a little bit more to their backstory of like, we know how they met, and we know that they kind of are flirtatious with each other in the first few books, but there is stuff that happens that we find out about at the beginning of this book, and we learn more about Lorenzo and why he is the way he is, which I assumed we would figure out in this book, and that just made me love him even more, and I kind of knew that was going to be coming. Things that made him look like a jerk and like a spoiled, privileged person, we really find out like why he is the way he is, and it's not that at all. So I really liked that part of it, and I think that their relationship was just really sweet, and Lily is just really sweet, and that they both like fought so hard for what they wanted that I think that's made me love this one so much. I don't know, I love Lauren Asher. I like flew through this book. I started this last night. It is 6 o'clock, and I started this around like 6:30 last night, and I'm done because her books are just so addicting, and I just didn't want to stop, and I just can read through them very fast. So done with this one. So I have one more book left for this vlog, and that is Promises We Meant to Keep by Monica Murphy, which is the third book in the Lancaster Prep series. And I think this is also a second chance romance, that they were like kind of together in school, maybe in secret, and then something happened. She betrayed him, I believe, and now they see each other at her brother's wedding. And I guess he's like also not like the nicest person either. So we'll see how that goes. Again, I'm probably gonna read it mainly on my Kindle, but I do have the physical copy as well. So I will update when I'm probably just done with this one, because it's not very long. I might get through it within the next day, we'll see, unless something happens. So I'll update later. Okay, so final update for this vlog. I just finished up Promises We Meant to Keep by Monica Murphy. Not my favorite in the series, gonna say that. We are following two characters that were like together in secret, Sylvie and Spencer, who were together in secret, kind of in secret, like people kind of knew they were hooking up, but they weren't like together when they were at Lancaster Prep. And then something happens with Sylvie, and she's the Lancaster, and her family and all of that, and they are like separated for like 3 years, and then they see each other again at her brother Whit's wedding, and then things kind of just take off from there to like try to rekindle what they had. But there's a lot of like secrets, there's a lot of lies that they have to get over. There's a lot that Sylvie has to get through, family-wise. I'm not going to go into that because that is like the crux of the story. But it didn't feel like an emotional connection to me. I just felt like it was a very physical connection. So that's why I was just like, it wasn't my favorite. But sometimes that's what you need. It didn't not enjoy it. It was a 3 star, so very standard. I'd recommend it because it's part of the series, and the series has been like an okay series to read. But at the same time, like, it's probably not a lot of people's cup of tea. It definitely read more young, which is also probably why I didn't love it, because I am obviously way older than even they are in the second part of the book. But it just felt a little bit too physical for me. If you like a bully, like they're kind of mean to each other romance, this series is probably for you. If you don't like that, you probably wouldn't like this, but 3 stars. Then I read Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. This completed the Lakefront Billionaire series for me by her, and this was a 4.5 star read. This and the first book I freaking adored. The second one was okay. I think it is important to know those characters before reading this one. You don't have to, but I think it just like lets the story flow a little bit better, but that story really didn't have too much to do with this one. But yeah, love this one just as much as the first one, if not more. I'm not sure yet, but I loved the couple in this. I loved Lily, and I loved what Lorenzo brought out in her and like what she brought out in him. And this was definitely more emotional, I'd say, than physical connection. So maybe that's why I like this one a little better, but 4.5. Bloody Heart, which is my favorite in the Brood of Birthright series so far. And this is also a second chance, and also I think more of an emotional connection. This was a very physical book as well, but I think it was kind of one of those, like, you met your person and you just knew as soon as you met them books. And I think it was done a little bit better in this than I'd say it was done in Promises We Meant to Keep. But still enjoyed it. Very quick read, 3.75 stars. Again, my favorite in the series so far. Then I finished the Zodiac Academy series with Restless Stars, which was a 5-star book. I think that's just the second one that I've given in that series that's been 5 stars. And I think I had to, because everything was wrapped up. Everything was concluded in a way that, like, made it worth it to me. And I do think it was a little long. I don't think it had to be quite as long as it was. But at the same time, I didn't want to let go of those characters after I had, like, got to know them for 9 books. So it was kind of nice to have a long extended final book with them. Although I do believe they may make appearances in some of these other, like, spin-off series. I don't know. But really enjoyed it. Did take a while to get through. But that series is not for everyone. I can say that right now. It is definitely more drama, I'd say, than fantasy. Drama and romance than fantasy, but there are a lot of fantasy elements in it. But it, I think, focuses more on the relationships of the characters than it does the actual plot. I personally think that. So, 5 stars though. So happy to be done with that series though, because those books are huge. But yeah, it was enjoyable. And then I started the vlog with Love at First Fright by Nadia Alfasi, which was an arc that I had to read that did come out earlier this month. Highly recommend. It's such a fun, fall witchy-esque read. We follow a character that is an author filming a movie of an adaptation of her book, and the male character is our main actor for the movie, and she at first doesn't think he's right for the part. And things kind of escalate quickly, but I think that it touches on a lot of important topics, and it's just a very sweet, cute, very atmospheric romance for this time of the year because of, like, where they're filming and what they're filming and everything. And the fact that she's a little witchy and she can see ghosts. And then it is a little bit of a spin-off from Best Ex Ever, which is one of her best friends. And that book came out last year. And she is a witch, a kitchen witch. So it was just a fun, sweet, good time and kind of a great way to start the fall season. So very happy with this vlog. I'm going to try to squeeze in one more before the end of the month. You probably won't see it before the end of the month, but I do have a few more days left, so look out for that. And the next video you'll probably see is my TBR for October. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching if you've made it this far, and I hope to see you all in the next one.